Nicole Kidman has filed for divorce from KeithUrban after 19 years of marriage.
Keith and Nicole's shocking $325 million split that rocked the movie and music worlds. Now we're tracing the clue.
Nicole Kidman's divorce papers just dropped, and one clause buried in the documents has family lawyers calling it shockingly one-sided for what's supposed to be an amicable split. September 30th, 2025, Nicole files for divorce from KeithUrban after 19 years of marriage. Within hours, court documents reveal a custody split that's brutal: 306 days for Nicole, 59 days for Keith. But that's not even the part that has everyone talking. Hidden in the parenting plan is a clause that gives Nicole complete control over their daughter's futures, even when Keith disagrees. And whispers are circulating about another clause, one that allegedly ties millions of dollars to Keith staying sober throughout their entire marriage. The papers reveal more than just a divorce. They expose a marriage built on intervention, control, and the one addiction Nicole could never fully trust Keith to overcome. The documents hit Nashville's Davidson County Court on September 30th, and by the next morning, media outlets had pulled them from public records. Court filings in Tennessee are accessible once they're filed, which means the details Nicole and Keith tried to keep private are now everywhere. But here's what makes this different from a typical celebrity divorce. These papers tell a story that Nicole and Keith clearly didn't want told. The timeline alone is suspicious. Keith signed the parenting agreement on August 29th, Nicole signed it September 6th, but Nicole didn't file for divorce until September 30th, almost a full month later. That means for weeks they had a fully executed divorce agreement sitting with notaries while they posed for photos, gave interviews, and acted like everything was fine. Keith was touring, Nicole was filming, and between them sat signed documents ending their marriage. TMZ reported Nicole made an abrupt decision to file on September 30th. But you don't make an abrupt decision after sitting on signed divorce papers for a month. Something happened. Something changed. Something made Nicole decide the charade was over. And when you look at what's in those papers, the custody arrangement, the financial terms, the clauses about decision-making, you start to understand why they waited so long to make this public. The custody breakdown hits you immediately when you read the document. Nicole Kidman gets Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret for 306 days per year. KeithUrban gets 59 days. Let that sink in. Their father, KeithUrban, Grammy-winning artist, the man who gave that tearful AFI speech about how Nicole chose love when he went to rehab, sees his daughters 59 days a year. That's every other weekend, Saturday morning to Sunday evening, while Nicole has them every single day in between. The holiday schedule is just as lopsided. Nicole gets every Mother's Day, every Easter, Christmas during odd years. Keith gets Father's Day and Christmas during even years. But even then, the girls return to Nicole on Boxing Day. From Nicole's point of view, you could argue this makes sense. She's been the primary parent throughout the marriage. She's the one who restructured her film schedule around the girls' school year. She's the one in Nashville full-time, while Keith toured constantly. But imagine being Keith, reading this custody agreement for the first time. 4 months into your marriage, your wife stages an intervention and sends you to rehab. You get sober, stay sober for 19 years, rebuild your life, you give speeches crediting her with saving you, and then she files for divorce and structures custody so you see your daughters 16% of the year. That's not co-parenting. That's Nicole deciding Keith doesn't get to be a primary presence in his own children's lives anymore. But the custody split isn't even the most devastating part of these papers. It's the clause buried in the parenting agreement that truly reveals how Nicole views Keith's role in their daughters' futures. The document states that major decisions about Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret will be made jointly. Education, healthcare, religious upbringing, extracurriculars. Both parents get to participate in discussions. But then comes the kicker. If Nicole and Keith cannot agree on a major decision, Nicole shall have final decision-making authority. That's not joint custody. That's Nicole having complete control with a polite fiction that Keith gets input. Keith can argue that Sunday Rose should take a gap year before college. Nicole can say no, and that's the end of the discussion. Keith can suggest Faith Margaret be homeschooled so she can travel with him. Nicole can veto it, and her decision is final. In most joint custody cases, courts don't hand one parent clean final authority like this unless there's a reason. When parents truly share custody, disagreements get resolved through mediation or court intervention. And that reason? It's written all over Keith's history. The 2006 rehab stint, 4 months into their marriage, when Nicole discovered Keith's addiction, was worse than she'd thought. The intervention she staged, the 3 months he spent in treatment while she decided whether to stay or leave. Nicole chose to stay. But these papers reveal she never fully trusted him again. Think about what this clause means for Keith. He's the father. He's been sober for nearly 2 decades. He's financially successful, emotionally present when he's allowed to be. And yet his own wife structured their divorce, so he has zero final authority over his daughter's major life decision. That's not about logistics or scheduling. That's about Nicole deciding back in August, when they were negotiating these terms, that KeithUrban cannot be trusted to make the right choices for Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret. Now we get to the part that outlets are whispering about but can't confirm, the alleged sobriety clause. Multiple sources have reported rumors, and they are just rumors, not verified facts, that Nicole and Keith's prenup included what's being called a cocaine clause. The speculation? Keith would receive a payout of approximately $17 million if he remained sober throughout their 19-year marriage. There's no confirmation this exists, it's not in the public court documents, no lawyer has verified it, but the rumor won't die. And here's why. It makes perfect sense given their history. Picture this, it's 2006. You're Nicole Kidman's attorney. Your client just married KeithUrban. 4 months later, she's staging an intervention because his addiction has spiraled. He enters rehab. She's deciding whether to stay. What do? You protect your client. These kinds of clauses are real in celebrity prenups, just like cheating clauses. They put money on the line for behavior that can blow up a marriage. If this clause is real, and again, it's unconfirmed, it means Keith has been living under a financial arrangement for 19 years. Stay sober, get paid. Relapse, forfeit millions. But here's the darker possibility. What if Keith did stay sober for 19 years, earn that $17 million payout, and Nicole still structured the divorce to give him minimal custody and zero decision-making power? What does that say about what she really thinks of him? The asset division in Nicole and Keith's divorce is almost surgical in its precision. Each keeps their own assets, no spousal support, no alimony, everything divided according to prenup terms that were clearly established years ago. But one line in the documents raises more questions than it answers. KeithUrban has already prepaid all child support obligations owed to Nicole Kidman. Prepaid, past tense, already done. Child support is typically paid monthly until kids turn 18. But Keith paid everything up front, possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars in a lump sum, and now neither parent owes the other ongoing support. Why structure it that way? Because both wanted a complete financial severance. Nicole doesn't want to depend on monthly checks from Keith. Keith doesn't want ongoing obligations that could be modified if circumstances change. The documents reveal that Nicole and Keith don't own property in their individual names. Everything, their Nashville mansion, their estates, their investments, is held through trusts and LLCs. That's wealth protection. If you're worth hundreds of millions, you don't hold assets personally. Nicole earned $31 million in 2024 alone, but the court documents list both her and Keith as earning $100,000 per month. That's strategic understatement. If both appear to earn similar amounts on paper, the case for no spousal support is ironclad. Each keeps their creative works. Nicole retains her film catalog and future projects. Keith keeps his music royalties and touring income. Bank accounts, business interests, even hotel points and airline miles. Everything split according to who earned it. Nicole was willing to give Keith a clean financial break. She just wasn't willing to give him equal time with his daughters or equal say in their futures. The parenting agreement includes one line that reveals just how contentious this could have been. Both parties agree they will not speak badly of each other or the members of the family of the other parent. That's a gag order. Nicole can't publicly trash Keith. Keith can't publicly trash Nicole. If either violates that clause, they risk their custody arrangement. That's why Keith has been completely silent throughout this divorce. No statements, no interviews. He's touring as if nothing happened, performing his hits while his marriage implodes in court documents. Nicole has been equally quiet, focusing on work and her daughters. Both are bound by an agreement that requires public civility, even if privately they're furious. But silence speaks volumes. The separation date is officially listed as September 30th, the day Nicole filed, even though sources say they'd been living separately since the beginning of summer. If they actually separated in June or July, why list September as the official date? Legal strategy. The later the separation date, the simpler the financial calculations. But it also means Nicole and Keith were living separate lives for months while maintaining the illusion of marriage. Public appearances in May, acting like nothing was wrong while the marriage was already over. And here's what keeps gnawing at people following this story. What finally made Nicole file on September 30th after sitting on signed papers since early September. Sources described Keith as going through some stuff and making questionable choices. People close to Nicole say she felt hurt and betrayed and had been trying to save the marriage. But if she was trying to save it, why did she sign divorce papers in early September? The timeline doesn't add up unless something happened between summer, when they separated, and September, when she decided to make it official. Strip away the legal language and the financial details. And here's what Nicole Kidman's divorce papers actually reveal. A woman who saved her husband from addiction 19 years ago never stopped seeing him as someone who needed saving. And when the marriage ended, she structured custody to reflect that reality. KeithUrban gets 59 days a year with his daughters, not because he's unfit or absent, but because Nicole decided that's what he deserves. He gets to participate in decisions about their education and healthcare. But that one line, Nicole shall have final decision-making authority, hangs over everything. Custody, holidays, their daughters' futures. Keith shows up, but Nicole decides. Maybe it's because of his addiction history. Maybe it's because of his touring lifestyle that kept him away from home for months at a time. Maybe it's because of those questionable choices sources hint at but won't specify. Or maybe it's simpler than that. Maybe Nicole looked at Keith, the man she staged an intervention for, the man who credited her with saving his life, the man who stayed sober for nearly 2 decades, and still saw someone who couldn't be trusted with equal authority over their children. The alleged sobriety clause, if it exists, would be the final insult. Keith stayed clean for 19 years, possibly earned a $17 million payout for his sobriety, and Nicole still gave him minimal custody and zero final say. Nicole Kidman's divorce papers became public record on September 30th, 2025, revealing a custody agreement that gives her nearly complete control over her daughters' lives and KeithUrban's role in them. The clause that matters most is confirmed, verified, written in legal language. Nicole shall have final decision-making authority when she and Keith disagree. Everything else, the rumored sobriety clause worth millions, the questionable choices that allegedly triggered the filing, whatever happened between summer separation and September's papers remains speculation. But the custody arrangement tells you everything about how Nicole views Keith after 19 years of marriage. She'll let him see the girls every other weekend. She'll let him participate in discussions about their futures. She just won't let him have the final say. Keith can argue, advocate, and object all he wants. At the end of the day, Nicole has the authority to overrule him on every major decision affecting Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret. That's what Nicole negotiated for. That's what Keith signed, and that's what will define their relationship for the rest of their daughters' childhoods. Do you think the final decision-making clause is fair, given the custody split, or did Nicole go too far? And do you believe the sobriety clause rumors? Drop your thoughts below.